Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you came, clicked on the play button there. And I want to do a review for you today of the Bohning X3 vane. That's what I use on my crossbow bolts. I use zombie slayers, Black Eagle zombie slayers. Have good success with those. Downrange, I have great groups, and stay tuned, and we're going to go over the measurements of these X3 vanes and the process I use to put them on, and then I'll go over some of the successes I had this year and how they held up. Okay, so to go over the review here of the X3 vanes, some of the measurements of the X3s that I use a white X3 vane, and I set them on at a 1 degree twist, and use them on the 20-inch 1,000 straight zombie slayers with 125 grain tip. I believe they have brass inserts. They might be 92 grains, not sure, but I started to look for another vane whenever I shot the Bohning blazers that came on the zombie slayers out of my Barnett TS380, and they were just barely touching the bottom of the flight groove, and I'm a real stickler for just having things exactly right. They didn't shoot bad, even out to 50 yards. They didn't shoot bad. They were pretty decently accurate, but that's why I began to look for a different vane that I could shoot with just a little bit of a lower profile, and that's when I found the Bohning X3. I like the shape. It has a great wide base on it, and so I wanted to try them out. Wasn't sure how they would steer the bolt, especially at longer distances and in the wind, but and at higher speeds. My Barnett shoots about 338 feet per second through the chronograph, and I'm going to be getting a 10-point Vane Max, and probably be shooting these, so that I don't know how fast, maybe in the 370s with my bolt weight, and so I'll give you an update on those, on how they work at a little bit higher speeds, but I found them to be very stable. Got great groups with these, and so these run about, the X3 vane measures 2¼ inches long and about 3/8 inches high. So they're not quite as high as some of the other vanes, but they do steer them well, I've found, and I've shot in some crosswind, some headwind, and different things out at the range. It's pretty open out there, and they have grouped very well for me. They're very stiff material, and so they don't flutter and give, and they steer the bolt very well. Very happy with these. I mark my cock feather. You see there's 3 white. I mark my cock feather with a number. I number all my bolts. And so that's how I tell, with the alignment of the nock, that's how I tell which is the cock feather that goes down. You can mark them any way you want. I just didn't want to buy 2 different colors, and just went with one color, and I mark them so I know when I put them in the crossbow in the tree stand, or just shooting at the range, I know which one goes down, and the alignment of the nock will tell you that as well. But So they're very stiff material. The process I use to put these on, I started to use this glue with my compound arrows, and they held up very well. I used to use cyanoacrylate glue, and sometimes they would stick well, other times they wouldn't stick very well. And then you had the white residue that would get on the arrow. It was very hard to get off. You could get it off, but just really wasn't pleased with that and wanted to find a better way. So what I do when I get if I get any shafts with blazer vanes on them, which is what they come through with. I've seen some posts with the Venom X, 10-point Venom X as well, that they may hit the cable slide. So I'm going to use these vanes as well with the bolts on the Zombie Slayers with the Venom X. But the process that I go through, I don't clean the base of the vane doing this. So I just make sure that they're dust free, wipe them down, and I don't clean them with anything. But the first thing I do after I scrape off vanes, or if I have a bare shaft, I went to Lowe's and bought denatured alcohol, and I clean the bolts well with the denatured alcohol. Then I use Fletch-Tite Platinum, and to use this, I just run a bead down the base of the vane. I use a Bitzenberger, just a single crossbow bolt adapter in it, and I'll run a bead of the platinum, pretty good sized bead. I'm not worried about it being too much. You don't want to go too much on it, but you want to put enough that it's going to cover the base when you press it on to the shaft. And if there's a little bit that comes out on the sides of over here on the side, I don't know if you can see some of that in the camera, but you can easily take that off with a razor blade. Unlike cyanoacrylate glue, if it runs or something, it's very hard to get off. This is not. So I'm not really worried a lot about how much excess there is. I can get it off easily, but I want to make sure that the whole base of the vane gets covered when it dries. I don't want any areas where there's lacking glue. So this easily comes off with a razor blade, which is nice, and you can see it does not let any residue at all if you've ever used the Fletch-Tite Platinum. And then when I'm done, I put a bead on the front and back. So that's kind of a given if you've made arrows. The important thing is, and I use the timer on my phone, whenever I set that vane on, I set the timer at 5 minutes, and I let the one vane set up in the Bitzenberger on the bolt for 5 minutes, and then I'll remove the clamp and turn it and do the next one. When you get the bolt done, after that, you want to let them set for at least 24 hours so the glue sets up. This is a slower drying glue, and you have to let it set. So it's important, don't forget, if you're going to do it this way, to let it set for 5 minutes on the jig before you go to the next one. It takes me a little time, but these stay on. I shot 2 deer this year, and the one was a pass-through. The buck was a pass-through. You saw in the video if you watch the videos. The other one was a spine shot, and it dropped, and I had to get down and shoot that one again. But none of my fletchings came off. There's nothing more frustrating than shooting a deer with a brand new bolt, and you go down and half the vane's hanging off, or the vane's missing, or the front of it came off, because you pretty much have to redo the whole thing to get the spacing correct. But 2 deer, no vanes even thought about coming off of these arrows. These things are on to stay. I've shot them into targets. I've shot them into bag targets where they went into the bag target, the fletchings, and pushed them back out, and they didn't come off. If you use this process, they're going to stay on. You get them clean at the first with denatured alcohol, put a good bead of the platinum on them, and whatever jig you use, you just want to make sure that it has enough pressure, and let it set on there for 5 minutes in the jig. Then you can move on to the next one, and then when you finish it, you just want to let it set for at least 24 hours to let this glue dry, and they will stay on. So these have really stayed on for me. These things are super stiff material, and so I really like them. They've worked well. I was really concerned about the steerage that I would get with them, if it would be good enough to handle. I use Rage. I shot them with 125 grain Schwackers as well, and they flew well. I can't speak for a fixed blade. How they would handle fixed blade is, I don't shoot fixed blades out of a crossbow. I used to out of my compound. I'm not sure how these would handle fixed blade, but I can speak for the Rage and the Schwacker. Probably any mechanical broadhead, I think that they would steer them well, but I can speak for the Rage and the Schwacker that they do steer them well. It's a great vane. Like I said, they're very stiff. You shoot them into the bag material. You can heat these up a little bit. You don't want to overdo it, heating them up, because they'll melt. But if you get a heat gun, you can straighten these back out very easily without taking them off. If you hit them with a little bit of a heat gun, they will straighten back out. But they're really good vanes. They hold their shape. They're stiff. They don't flutter. When you're shooting high-speed crossbows, that's one thing you want to consider. The blazers, probably, I think they make a newer blazer with a different material that is a little bit stiffer, and they may work better. But the standard blazers probably would flutter a little bit, and you really don't want that. You want a good stiff vane that will keep its shape as it's flying. And then the 1 degree twist on those, I don't know if you can see that just a little bit, just to get the bolt turning out of the crossbow. I can say with compounds, I shot some broadheads. I shot a Bowtech Realm SR6, and one year I had some issues tuning it. The broadhead wanted to go low right, no matter, and I retuned it and checked it, and low right, and I had straight vanes on it, and the straight vanes, I watched a video on straight vanes and different degrees, and the straight vane, when it came out of the compound, at least, that would probably be a little bit different with a crossbow, but out of the compound, the straight vanes didn't turn much in 20 yards. You'd be amazed if you go on YouTube and look at some videos, slow motion videos. Straight vanes are not the way you want to go. You want to have at least a little bit of twist on the fletching to create that spin, the drag on the back, and that little bit of twist on the vane will create a spin on your bolt and help to stabilize it. So if you can get just a little bit of twist on that vane, it will really help stabilize your bolt. So that's the process that I go through. That's what I use, the Bohning X3. I really like them. They've done well this year in hunting situations. I've shot out at the range. Hopefully I'll be at the farm show to shoot down there in the 3D competition with the crossbow, and we will try them down there. Not shot 3D with them yet, but I've hunted with them and shot out at the range with them, so I don't expect any problems. If you're going to be there, stop in to the 3D challenge. Bring your bow, bring your crossbow, and they have a place there, secure place where there's a guard. You can keep your equipment and come in and just shoot it for fun. You don't have to compete or anything. You just shoot it for fun as well if you want to, and have a good time. But come on down to the Sportsman Show, and then this summer there's an ASA PA Clash for Cash, and they have all the ASA divisions and shooting classes, and crossbow is one of those. There are some rules for speed, and the distance is 40 yards, and it is you're able to use your rangefinder. It's known distance, but so you have to look into the rules. But I think probably they'll have some advertisement down at the farm show for that. So if you'd like to be a part of that, I'll give a shout out to the PA Clash for Cash. It's a PA Triple Crown in the ASA format, and we had a lot of kids out. I shot my compound last year during that, but again, as you know, if you've been on any of my videos, just had my MRI a week ago Thursday, and met with the doctor on Thursday, and there are no tears in my shoulder, but I have a little bit of arthritis and tendonitis, and so I think my compound shooting days are over if I want to continue to use the shoulder that I have, and I would like to do that. I've been through 2 surgeries the last 2 years and really don't want another one. And so, you know, it was a difficult decision. I love shooting my compound bow, but a lot of older folks are staying in the woods, hunting with a crossbow, and I'm thankful that I can do that. But I love to shoot competition, and so I'm going to continue to do that. And I want to try to shoot the PA Clash for Cash in the crossbow division this year. Hopefully there'll be some other guys. There was one guy that shot it last year, and I got to shoot with him in a couple of them, as we were both 40-yard known. So keep your eye out on the channel for those things. I'm going to try to mount my camera on my crossbow and take some video of the farm show competition, and that'll be a future video coming. But yeah, hey, if you want a good vane for your crossbow bolts and you're shooting a mechanical broadhead, try these out. Very good, and I know they stay on from experience, shooting deer and passing through deer and bone and different things. They've stayed on, and so try them out. If you have any comments to leave on the process that I use, please do that. If you would like, share, and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. I'm going to have some other reviews coming up here in the future. Some D-Power lighted nocks. I use those on the Barnett. I'll have to use the Alpha Nock HP on the 10-point Venom X, so I'll use those lighted nocks. Glad you came. Hopefully something here will help you in the future if you've had trouble keeping vanes on, or get as frustrated as I did keeping vanes on your crossbow bolts. Go ahead and try this process. Even with other vanes, the cleaning and the glue, it's worked for me. Hopefully, if you have some problems with that, this will help you out. So thanks for joining us today for this review. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. If you're gonna be at the farm show, we usually probably February 3rd, that Monday, We usually get down on a Monday. I'll be there on Monday. If you stop in, I don't know what time I'm shooting, maybe like 1 o'clock. I'm not sure, but look me up, and I'll be the ugly guy on the line. But hey, if you're down there, stop in and say hi. We'll talk and chat a little bit. So see what I can do. I know there's going to be some good guys shooting down there, and looking forward to talking to them and learning some things from them as well. So thanks for stopping in at the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.